Hello, hello, my friends. Welcome to the full moon. How are we this evening? Welcome to Kundalini. Welcome to the full moon. Welcome to Aries season. Welcome to lunar eclipse. Welcome to Mercury retrograde. Welcome to all the things that are happening in our world. Welcome to eclipse season. Oh my gosh. So I am so happy that you're all here. I know we have a couple of friends still coming. I am going to take a few minutes just to talk about what is happening in our world right now. If you follow me on social media, you might have gotten an idea of what I'm going through today. And I've posted a couple things about what is going on with this full moon, with this lunar eclipse. We have a solar eclipse coming in, gosh, just under 2 weeks. But I wanted to just take a minute to let you all in on what's happening and why we're here tonight doing Kundalini, what it's about, what we're going to accomplish, how we're going to feel afterwards when we're all done. So tonight is the full moon in Libra. And this is all about heart. This is about heart chakra. This is about heart energy. In Kundalini, we have head, heart, and gut brains that work in tandem in our bodies. And tonight, we are going to activate our heart chakra. We are going to bring that place of truth online and really support it from a place of intuition, which is that gut brain. So much in our world we run with our head brain, right? We overthink, we analyze, we critique, we evaluate, we judge, we categorize. Today is all about letting go of that and moving to the heart and the gut. This full moon is all about throwing things in our face, showing us where we are literally telling ourselves stories to hold ourselves back, to make ourselves small, to keep us in these relations and relationships and interactions with people that keep us the same, really. And so we are going to do some Kundalini to kind of release some of that, to let go of some of that shit, and to also give us some awareness and some space to reset our nervous system, to calm ourselves, to ground ourselves, to anchor ourselves so that we can move through this absolutely chaotic next couple of weeks. Because holy cow, it is going to be wild. So if you don't know me, first I'll introduce myself. My name is Chris Batzner. I am the creator and curator of the Awakened Yoga Collective. It is a Facebook group that is full of like-minded individuals that love to come together and raise their vibration and the vibration of the world around them. I'm also the owner and guide of Central Michigan Kundalini, where we do all things Kundalini and divine feminine. We move with the moon cycles, we find our intuition, and we empower each other through that feminine energy of expression, intuition, trust, and faith. So tonight, what we are going to do is the Kriya of the Sage Warrior. As I was sitting here, I actually had another Kriya chosen before today, and I woke up with Mercury retrograde wild and at play in my life. So I basically woke up, I had charged my computer, which I am on, in case you're wondering. And I charged it overnight, so it was going to be all ready for our Zoom. And lo and behold, it was dead. The battery was dead. There was no power going to it. I thought, oh, okay, what am I going to do? I'm supposed to have a Zoom. What's going to happen? I'm supposed to host this class tonight. Tried to wiggle my power cord around. It didn't make a difference. Tried to unplug it, tried to do it a different power plug on the wall. All of these things. I did all of the triage checklist, right? Nothing worked. My computer was dead. And so I thought, well, all right, let's see what happens. Thank you, Mercury retrograde, for giving me this challenge to figure out another way to meet with you all this evening online in the world so that we can come together in a different way. I thought, okay, it made me creatively problem solve, right? I am visiting. I'm not even in my hometown. I'm visiting my family. So my family has computers. I can use one of their computers. I have my phone. I can do this. And so lo and behold, I took a deep breath. I calmed myself down because old Chris would have been panicked and racing around like a chicken with her head cut off. Today's Chris said, okay, I can handle this. no matter how it works, I know it will work. I know that we will be here tonight, just like we are. I know that I can handle this and figure out a solution that will be successful. And so I took a breath and I kind of sat with it, and I went and actually just ended up needing just a new power cord. So I took it there's a Best Buy here in town, and I had him look at it, and lo and behold, was just a power cord. So simple solution, didn't need to panic. Here I am, I have power on my computer again. But that is an example of what might be going on in your world. That is my technology. That's my Mercury retrograde with my technology mishaps. Maybe you are feeling that in relationships, right? There may be some conflict. There may be some difficult conversations. There may be moments when people are showing you aspects of themselves that are surprising, unexpected, misaligned, dissonant with who you are and who you thought you were in your relationship and who you thought they were. And so when those moments come up, just like they did in my morning of, oh my gosh, my computer doesn't have any power anymore, we need to have a surplus of tools in our pocket that we can use to regulate our nervous system so that we can rationally think through and creative problem solve and still feel good about our bodies and our place in space. We have that trust, we have that faith, we have that understanding of our ability that is not reliant on anybody or anything else. That is why we do Kundalini, because it gives us a shift in awareness, a shift in perspective. It gives us the opportunity to practice that conversation with ourselves when we talk ourselves off that ledge, or we tell ourselves, take a breath. Like I told myself this morning, take a breath, Chris. You can handle any of this. Like you can come up with a solution. You will solve this problem. You know you have the ability to do this. It will happen. You know that you will be here. So we have this Kundalini gives us that perspective and that ability to talk ourselves down and see the creative possibilities, right? Old Chris would have said, oh my gosh, I need my computer. I need my computer. I need my computer. I need my computer. Those blinders would have been on her. Like, I need my computer. I need my computer. New Chris is like, well, I have my phone, I have someone else's computer, I have a tablet, I have, all of these different things that will be able to function and let me get to you all this evening. So that's why after all of that happened, I chose Kriya of the Sage Warrior. So this Kriya is a Kriya that gives us deep anchoring in our bodies. It anchors our root chakra. It calms us down into our physical body. And it also uses our breath to create space. So we use our breath in this practice, this Kriya, to not only bring balance and kind of bring us into this moment, but it also creates space within our bodies. Courage resides in our lungs. And so we want to stoke those fires of courage because holy macaroni, we need that right now. We need that courage to stand firm, to trust ourselves, and to know that we can get through whatever storm the world is sending us, because that universe is sending us a whole bunch of storms right now. So when we think about that concept of sage warrior, right, that is that idea of we can stand firm and weather any storm. And the thing I love about this Kriya too, and that concept of the sage warrior, is that image that I get when I think about it is a sage warrior is wise, experienced, and knows that it doesn't have to just charge into battle. That sage warrior stops and looks around. That sage warrior observes the entire situation, the entire scene, and decides when and where is the most appropriate and most effective time to engage. And so that's the energy I am calling in for all of us tonight as we do this Kundalini practice. The sage warrior, that steady, calm, observant warrior, ready to do battle if necessary, but not charging full on in. If you know me, you know that I do jujitsu. I roll in jujitsu. I love jujitsu. And I saw this meme today that was perfect for this energy. And it talked about the different levels of belts, right? And the white belt, who's a beginner, as they warm up, they like rolling all over the place. They're jumping up and down. They're bouncing off the walls. They're standing on their backs. They're flipping their legs in the air. They're doing all of these things. And then the next level up, the blue belt comes in, and they're just practicing rolls over and over and over and over again. They're doing the same thing over and over and over again. They're like focusing on one thing. Then the next level up, which is the purple belt, they are kind of doing one thing, and then they stop and look around. And then they do another thing, and they stop and look around. And then the black belt, which is the most experienced, sits on the side and watches everybody. They may get up and stretch a little, but they just kind of sit and watch. And so that is that concept of that sage warrior. And that energy is what we are going to bring into our own bodies and our own worlds tonight through this Kundalini practice. So I am so glad you're all here. If you want to put in the chat where you're from, I would love to hear that. I would love to see where we are reaching out to. And as you do that, I will go ahead and talk a little bit about how I do Kundalini, because it's a little bit different. We do Kundalini here. We sing, we chant. I call it singing. We chant, and we do breath and movement, but it is prescribed, but it's not required, right? So with the movement that we do, it is a suggestion and a framework. If you need to do the movement in a different way, you do it. New York City, woo! I love New York City. It's one of my favorite cities in the whole wide world. So if I say we're going to do this movement, this kriya, this posture, then it doesn't work in your body. Do it differently. You have my permission. I'm giving you permission right now to do these postures and these movements in a way that feels good in your body. That's the first part of Kundalini, is trusting that intuition, and intuition is listening to your body, right? So you have my permission to listen to your body and move in a way that feels good. The other thing is we do these postures for 2 minutes in time. So it's almost like a repetitive movement. We take 2 minutes with each posture. And don't worry, I will keep track of the time. I will let you know. When those 2 minutes are over, we pause. We even hold our breath. So there's absolute stillness in our body to allow that movement to sink right in. And then we'll move on to the next movement, to the next part of our practice. We will sing at the beginning. We do what's called tuning in, and I'll put those in the chat when it's time. We say Om Namo Guru Dev Namo, which simply means I bow to the holy, to the teacher within, because we are our own best teacher. And this is all in the language of yoga, which is Sanskrit. We are our own best teacher. So we bow to ourselves as the teacher for us. Today, we will do a great mantra at the end. We will sing a great mantra at the end that is Hummy Hum Brahm Hum. And I'll write it all in the chant when it's time. Don't worry. Hummy Hum Brahm Hum. And that means all that is to be already is. All that is to be already is. And that's perfect for that sage warrior. It's like, we know in our bones it is, right? And so that's the mantra we'll do at the end of our practice. And really, I think everything else will be explained as we move our bodies. We're going to have a little bit of trust. We're going to have a little bit of breath. We're going to have a little bit of movement. I don't think that this practice, I'm looking at my notes. Oh yeah, it does have breath of fire ones. But we'll talk about it all as we go. All right. For those of you that are just joining us, welcome. Tonight we are moving through the Kriya of the Sage Warrior. All right. I think if you want a block, you can grab a yoga block, but if you don't have one, that's okay too. If you want to have a blanket or something to sit on, you sure can. Let's go ahead and get started. Let's start to move our body. We'll begin by coming to an easy seated pose. I'm going to scoot myself back so you can see all of me. And we'll come to an easy seated posture. taking a moment to just come in. We just talked about a whole bunch of stuff, didn't we? And so now is the time to kind of let that all sink in. Take a moment, soften the breath, soften the body. Maybe you've had a tumultuous day like I have. And so we just take a minute to let that all dissipate and float out into the ether. Because here we are together. Here we are, ready to move our bodies, ready to breathe together, ready to sing together, ready to move together. This is our time to meet ourselves, to be present and enjoy this practice. So let the eyes close, the gaze soften. Let the breath start to move a little deeper into the body. Notice the inhales and exhales. And we'll begin by tuning in. I just put it in the chat for us. Om Namo Guru Dev Namo. I bow to the holy, to the teacher within. Let's bring our hands together, rubbing them against each other. We do this to turn on those nerve endings that run straight to our brain. Press the palms together, thumbs to the sternum, lift the heart. We'll take a full breath before we begin. Let's inhale. Exhale. Feel free to listen or join in. You're all muted. No one will hear you. Belt it out. Let her rip. Let's inhale to begin. Om Namo Guru Dev Namo. Release those hands and we'll begin with our Sufi grind. So those circles of the upper body. Hands can rest on our knees. We can do this seated in a chair. And just let the eyes close again if those eyes have popped open. Feel the movement of the body. We move with the breath, inhaling as we circle forward, exhaling as we circle back. And as we move, call in a focus, an intention. Full moons are for releasing. But even in this moment of release, allow yourself to have focus, meaning behind what we are releasing. Beautiful. Gently switch directions, circling our body the other way. Inhaling as we circle forward. Exhaling as we circle back. This is not a race. We take our time. We move slowly. Feel the sit bones on the earth. And there may come a point where your monkey mind says, wait, we've been doing this too long. You should stop. This is a practice of releasing that monkey mind, right? Just keep going. Trust that I will let you know when it's time to be done. This is a practice of trust, practice of knowing, intuition. As we inhale, come to center. Let's hold the breath in the body for a moment. Grow taller through the top of the head. Lift the pelvic floor. We call this root lock in Kundalini. Be still. Exhale, release the breath, and just take a moment to notice. So we have stepped into our practice. We are entering this time of grounding and becoming present and anchoring ourselves to weather this storm. Notice how you feel. Notice the transitions that are already happening. Good. So our next posture is arm and a breath. So we inhale, reach our arms tall, palms face forward. We inhale through a wah. As we do this, as we exhale, we bring our hands together in front of us and our chin tucks. So it's like we're bowing into ourselves. And we do this for 2 minutes. Exhale through the nose. Slow and steady. We don't want to hyperventilate. And wah, that sound of wah is an expression of wonderment. Wow. Ah, yes. Wow. Look at that. So we are celebrating the fact that we are a sacred divine being, that we are unique, and our power lies in our uniqueness. We get big. We celebrate ourselves. And then we bring all of that goodness into our hearts. Rest when we need to. I also like to think of this inhale through wah as a charging up of my courage center, a building up of that pranic reserve in my lungs to carry me through the rest of the day. This is our moment of standing firm, like that warrior stepping into the ring, gathering our energy, claiming our space. On the next inhale, hold the breath in, reach to the sky, seal the lips, lift the pelvic floor, find that root lock, pause. Exhale, release. Take a moment and breathe right here. Again, what do you notice? What are you aware of? What is the universe throwing your way right now? What needs to be revisited and reevaluated? You have the strength to do just that. Let's take our legs straight out in front of us. If you're seated in a chair, just straighten the left leg. If we're on the floor, then bring the right foot in, let the knee fall open, support it as you'd like. So we're going to be in a figure 4. If you're seated in a chair, the right foot is on the ground, the left leg is extended. Good. Inhale, arms reach overhead, palms face each other this time. Belly draws up and in. And as we exhale, we reach towards those toes, so we fall forward. Inhale, reach to the sky. All the breath comes through the nose. Exhale, hinge forward. And we think about this as a reaching up and a reaching out. So as we do this, we're bringing that pranic reserve into our pelvis, into our hips. We're using that energy to anchor us to the earth, anchor us to this moment. Again, this is not a race. Feel the movement. Feel the body. What is your body asking for right now? Maybe it's rest. Maybe the hands come to the heart. Maybe the hands stay on the earth. Maybe we take a pause. On your next inhale, rise up. Exhale, release the hands and straighten the knees. The legs, take a moment and breathe. Wiggle the toes, move the legs around. And then we'll move to the other side. So now our right leg stays straight, our left knee bends, the foot pulls in and opens. And again, if we're on a chair, foot stays on the ground, right leg is extended. And we continue. Inhale, arms reach, palms face each other. Exhale, reach towards those toes. Breathing through the nose, reaching up, reaching out. So in our body, each side represents a different aspect of expression, of existence. The left side is that lunar aspect, that feminine aspect, the intuitive, expressive, flexible side. The right side is that sun aspect, that masculine, that structure, that motivation, that agony, that transformation through force. And so notice how each side feels to you. Right now, we are stimulating that masculine side, that sun side. I get a lot more resistance on this side than I do on the other side. And those are subtleties we can start to pay attention to. This practice of Kundalini gives us multiple opportunities to notice both aspects of existence in our bodies and notice how, one, we respond to those different aspects, but also how they play out in our movement practice. I invite you to pay attention to that, even when we're not doing Kundalini, even when you're off of your mat. As you go through your day, what foot do you lead with? What hand is your dominant? Where does your weight rest? What side do you sleep on if you sleep on a side? So many fun ways to play with that and notice it. And then what happens if you switch it up? On the next inhale, rise up. Exhale, release the hands. Straighten the legs, shake them out, wiggle the toes. Beautiful work. Let's find our way to our feet, shall we? So once we stand up, I'm going to move my camera up a little bit for you all. There we go. So when we make our way to our feet, just take a minute and let everything reacclimate. Just like we did at the beginning of our practice, when we sat down, kind of let our body settle in before we jumped right into it. It's a big part of Kundalini is giving our body time to adjust after each stage of this process, giving it time to notice. And that is something that is vitally important right now as we navigate this full moon in Libra, moving into Aries season. It is about pausing to notice, because right now we are being pushed to not pause, to just go, 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 and to fight, 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 and to react, react, react. And our most important job right now is to pause and to notice. So once we're on our feet, let's find goddess pose. Knees are bent. Feet are out slightly at an angle. So heels and toes out. Our hands are open, palms face forward, elbows squeeze to our ribs. So again, if you want to do this seated, we're just going to sit on a chair and take our legs wide. Fingers claw the air, That's that Kali mudra there. That claw mudra, fierce mudra. And so as we do this, we're going to do our teeth breath. And so what this means is we bare our teeth together as we inhale, exhale through our nose. And we do this for 2 minutes. So here's that warrior aspect, right? That I'm willing to fight if I have to. I am worth it. I am valuable. I take up space. So we have two aspects in this posture. We have the strength and the stimulating aspect of the breath and the power posture of the claw and the wide legs. But when we squeeze our elbows to our rib cage, we are actually calming our nervous system. We're triggering that vagus nerve, which regulates. So we have the duality of both aspects of our life, that masculine and feminine, right? That fight and that pause in this posture. So really lean into that balance. Let the breath be long and slow. And think about the moments that you are fierce, the moments that you are fearless or strong, the moments that you have stood up for yourself. Bring in that energy of power, of strength, of worth, of value. That is the energy we need to move forward in this moon. Inhale, hold the breath in, seal the lips, lift the pelvic floor, find that root lock, pause, squeeze the elbows to the ribs. Exhale, release. Walk the feet back together. Take a moment in stillness and just feel the body. Eyes can close or our gaze can soften, and notice how you want to move, right? See if we can be still here. Resist that urge to react. Yeah. Okay, so now we come down to our knees, to a tall kneel. And if this is no good on your knees, which I totally get, my knees are not ever very happy being stood on, we stay in a standing position, okay? And you'll just do a forward fold with this. So if we're in the tall kneel, we inhale, arms reach, gaze lifts, heart opens to the sky. Exhale, settle into child's pose. So our hips sink back to our heels, forehead to the earth. And that is our flow. We inhale, exhale. Palms stay facing each other. Open the front body. Open the back body. So we're placing ourselves in the middle of this connection between the universe, between the sky and the earth. And again, we're taking up a lot of space. And if your eyes are open, notice what your gaze lands on. And see if we can soften that gaze a little bit more. Notice what part of the body is driving this motion as well. Often I find this moves up into my shoulders, and we really want it back into our hips, into our belly. On the next inhale, we rise up. And as we exhale, we release the hands and sit back on the heels. If this doesn't feel good, just come to an easy seated pose. Palms rest face up for a moment. Eyes close or gaze softens. Chin tucks just slightly, and we keep breathing here. What are you aware of in this moment? I like to say, what is in your realm of awareness? Beautiful. We get to stand right back up again. So this is one of my favorite things to do in a Kriya next to Param Karam Dharam. We begin back into this goddess pose. And so this is going to require a little bit of movement in our bodies. So as we are in goddess pose with hands at our heart, we inhale. And as we exhale, we'll rotate to the left first, moving into a lunge. Our left arm is up, so that's the knee that's in front. Our right arm reaches forward. That's our exhale. As we inhale, we'll come back to goddess, and we'll do it the other side. As we exhale, we move to face the right in a lunge. Right knee, right arm comes forward. Left, oh, I switched it, sorry. Right arm is up, left arm is forward. So the arm that is the same side as the back leg extends. The knee that's in front is the arm that's up. Does that make sense? Hands to the heart and goddess. Inhaling, exhaling, inhaling, exhaling. Okay? Don't think too hard about it. Flow with your body. Trust that your body will figure this out. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Find your flow. So in Kundalini, we work a lot with angles, right? Those angles of the body channel and charge up different energies. We create different frequency loops, as it were. And so this one, this 90 degrees in our shoulders, and maybe in our pelvis, but really in our shoulders, charges up that throat chakra. And all of the chakras above the throat, those third eye and crown. So here we are, we're taking that energy that we have worked with before to anchor us. Now we're starting to spread it upward, because in order to navigate our truth and our autonomy in relationships, which is what this moon is all about, we must be able to communicate our desires and needs clearly and effectively. And at the same time, we must be able to listen to what our partner or those that we are in relation with, whether it's friends, family, partners, acquaintances, business workers, or people we work with. We have to hear them as well and understand what they're saying. One more to each side. And then as we come back to the middle, inhale, pause, sink the hips, hold the breath in this time, lift the pelvic floor, press the palms into each other. Exhale, release. Walk the feet together. And again, take a moment in stillness. Pause. Feel the body. Resist the urge to move, right? If we don't move that energy out of our body, where does it go? What happens to that sensation? Where does it take us? Those are all really interesting questions. Good, and then release and relax. So this last one gives us an opportunity to find tree pose. And so if you have a block, fantastic. You can take a foot onto the block. If you don't have a block, I don't have a block. Toes are going to be on the ground, heel into the ankle. Now, remember we do this for 2 minutes, okay? So as we do this, don't be in the absolute deepest expression of tree pose unless you feel comfortable doing it for 2 minutes. You can totally do that, be my guest, but know that this will be a little bit of time in that tree pose, okay? So as we're ready, we'll stand on our right foot first with the left knee open. Toe to the ground to begin with. Maybe the foot comes to the calf, maybe it doesn't. Tuck this hip in so we have energy moving up from the sole of our foot all the way through our body. Arms reach overhead. And then the left arm opens to the side, palm face up. Yes, so we have a lot of imbalance on this in this posture. Good. Option 2, breathe nice and slow here. Or option to take breath of fire, which is a strong diaphragmatic exhale and a reflexive inhale. So if you choose to do that, let's take a breath in and out. Inhale and begin. Keep going. And with breath of fire, there comes a moment where our monkey mind says to us, oh my gosh, stop. You have to breathe. You have to take a breath. You're not going to make it. When really what's happening is that the monkey mind is losing control. The body is taking over control of the breath and it regulates it in a completely different way. And so if we just ask that question, well, what if I take it one more? What if I do one more? All of a sudden the switch is flipped and now our body is regulating our breath, not our brain. And then we realize we can do this for a very long time. Maybe we deepen our tree pose, maybe we lessen our tree pose. See if we can feel that energetic connection between the palms of our hands. It's as if we're creating this shield around us. And let the breath be carried within that space, right? Inhale, reach the arms overhead, pause, hold the breath in the body, reach through the fingertips. Exhale, release the breath, the hands and the foot. Take a moment, just a moment, because we are immediately going to the other side. So now the weight comes into the left foot. The right heel tucks in. Arms reach overhead as we inhale. Right arm comes open, palm faces up. So we're really extending through that left side of the body. We're relying on that intuitive feminine aspect of ourself now. Option to take long, slow breaths right here. Or move into breath of fire again. So if we do that, let's take a breath to prepare. Let's inhale. Exhale. Inhale to begin. Maybe your breath of fire is faster than mine. Maybe it's slower than mine. You listen to your body. Keep the weight in your standing leg, which is your left one right now. Feel the lift through the crown of the head. See if we can connect the energy between the palms of our hands. Charging up. Again, that throat chakra, we're in this 90-degree angle again, aren't we? Noticing. What is in your realm of awareness right now? There may be a lot of things in your realm of awareness right now. What emotions do you feel? What is coming up? Inhale, reach both arms overhead. Hold the breath in, lift through the pelvic floor, find that root lock. Pause, press through the sole of the left foot, reach through the fingertips. Exhale, release the hands, the breath, and the foot. Take a moment in stillness. What is in your realm of awareness? What is shifting? And then we get to lay on down into Shavasana. So this might feel a bit abrupt, but this is often how our Kundalini practices go. We go from vigor into absolute rest. So there is that energy again of that sage warrior of building up, being ready, but also remaining still, letting that readiness dissipate or spread throughout our whole body. So we'll lay down on our backs. Find any supports or props that you would like, whether you have maybe a bolster or a pillow under your knees, maybe you have a blanket under your head or on top of you. Maybe you are remaining seated, whatever feels good to you. Find a place where you can completely melt away. And so this is an important part of our practice. This is the place where our body does the work, where the movements we've done find their home and share their wisdom. And so just soften the gaze or close the eyes, let the breath become natural. And just rest down. I will let you rest for a few minutes here. And when it's time to come back, you'll hear my voice again. So just enjoy this journey. Begin to deepen your breath. Slowly and gently bring awareness back to your body. Take a moment and notice the work we've done. Notice the messages that are downloaded, the wisdom of your body. And very slowly put movement in, taking your time. Moving in any way that feels good to you. And only waking up enough that you can return to a comfortable seated position. So we can move into our mantra. Hami hum brahm hum. So once we find a seated position, we will bring our left hand to our heart, our right hand out, palm face up. I put the mantra in the chat, Hami hum brahm hum. We do it 5 times. And that means all that is to be already is. And I think, let me sing it once for you. Let me turn my mic on differently. Here we go. It sounds like this. Hami hum brahm hum. 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 So we just sing that 5 times, and that just simply is all that is to be already is. And that humming stimulates the nerve endings in our soft palate, in the roof of our mouth, that run to our heart. So we're turning on our heart in yet another way. So left hand on the heart, right hand out as if we are collecting the goodness of the universe. And let's take a full breath before we begin. Let's inhale. Exhale. Inhale to begin. Hami hum brahm hum. 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 Inhale. Exhale. Take a moment and rest in the resonance of your own voice, the power that it is. And then we'll bring our hands together. One more time, rubbing them into each other, returning to that place of truth, that heart brain. Press our palms together, thumbs to the sternum, lift the heart, and we'll finish with a single sat nam, a long sat, a short nam. I am truth, I am light. Let's inhale to begin. Sat nam. May the long-time sun shine upon you. All love surround you, and the pure light within guide your way on. Sat Nam, my friends.